And let us go through your
Oh no, my
OPGG.
OPGG.
Oh, I see. So mostly Xayah and Lucian, is it?
So I climbed through like most of Silver with Lucian because I just find him so fun to play. But lately I've been spamming Xayah. I think I value her ult so much because it gets me out of. So I'm a bad player, right? Because I'm in gold,
Don't say
and
that.
and her ult makes me like if I do a mistake, it makes me like get out of the mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a get out of jail free card
Right.
in some ways. Hold on,
And
let
then
me
I
get my
can,
headphones
yeah.
on. Oh, yeah. So I guess it's not really Lucian anymore, but pretty much Xayah, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been doing fairly well on her as well, so
Okay. Are these games on your
you can
Twitch
you can
Xayah
see
games?
the CS scores are also a lot higher with Xayah.
Right. I don't know what's going on in these games, but it seems like the
Um,
Xayah games are pretty high CS in some of them.
yeah,
So
I those
interesting.
two games I super tilted.
Okay, so let's take a look then.
Yeah, this is one of the two last games on my OPGG, I think.
I see. So you mentioned that you had like some specific reason for getting better. Did you want to talk about that or not really?
Oh, there's not it's not that exciting. It's just that like I don't have any ambitions to be like become a pro or anything. I'm like a 30-year-old dude.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just that I all my life I've played like competitive games, competitive sports, and then the last like 4 or 5 years, my life has just boiled down to work and getting money to buy an apartment, stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
I want to get into like competitive-ish stuff, you know what I mean? So I just
No,
want to
yeah,
get
I know
like
what you mean. You know, like
good
get
enough to
good,
grasp the
right?
concept of yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
I don't want to feel like a scrub.
Oh, jeez. Well, hopefully we'll be able to meet your standards. So, um,
Yeah,
let's see what's going on here. Interesting.
dude.
You have like cinch support or something. All right. So, um, how many of my coaching videos have you seen? Would you
A
say?
lot, a lot.
Okay, cool, good. So, what would I say about laning phase? What can you tell me about this laning phase?
So the
Even
first
though,
thing you would ask me is
yeah.
what's the goal of this? You see, we have like what are we playing against? We have Draven, Blitzcrank. What are our win conditions? What should we be looking to do? Should we be looking to trade all in or play safe and farm? Yeah.
Right. So, what's the answer to that?
God damn, I set myself up for that one. So they basically have a kill lane. I mean, either of us
Let's
get
let's not say kill lane, but let's
no.
say like
I mean,
you
if
know
we get hooked, we're dead, right?
right. So we'll say that's catch, right?
Okay,
Because
catch.
it's not necessarily. Uh, I think
I
kill
feel
lane is like some kind of has some like connotations that go along with it, like oh we got to get kills to get ahead, or if we
ah
ever fight we die, and the kind of phrase kill
yeah,
lane
that,
doesn't
that
really
makes
even
sense.
make sense, right? Because like
That,
any lane can kill, right? So
right.
if you
No,
play the
that makes
matchup all right, any lane can do it. It just seems like people die to kill lanes more often, so that's why they call it kill lanes. But
yeah, this is true.
um, right, I prefer to say it's catch, right? Because you get hit by CC base skill shot, you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And then they're also what in terms of our, I guess, categories.
They're an all-in lane.
Yes, because Draven is Draven, and you're gonna die,
Yeah.
right? You go for an all in, you're gonna die. And then what about Singed and Xayah?
So yeah, I don't know. Singed is not really representative of my usual sports, so
Right, but even if you have to play with this kind of shit, we can still come up with some kind of idea how to play with it. So,
okay, so
is
my
he
first
poke?
thought
Is he
is
trade?
um he's kind of like all-in-ish. My first thought is that I just have to play around him and see if he can like land like the sticky things and flip someone that I can like turn into a root.
Right. So,
The
what kind of
trade,
category is that? Would you say?
uh, I would say I don't know, dude. I was thinking about that in this game, and I was thinking we were gonna just farm it out. So I guess I would answer a farm lane. Like play safe.
In
Scale.
terms of our 4 categories, there's no farm doesn't exist in that. Everyone wants to farm, right? So farm is kind of everyone.
All right. Okay. So we have what do we have then? Kill lanes, catch lanes, all in, and one more.
There's trade, poke,
Trade.
catch, and all in, right? These four. These four is what is kind of how I base my gameplay around, right? Or how I think about the lane phase. So I would say Singe is some kind of catch, right?
Catch, really?
Because he's trying to fling someone behind him, right? Even though it's not necessarily skill shot based, it's not exactly all in either. You could really say it's all in too. I would say it's a mix of between both of them, but we'll say like the mega adhesive is the catch part and the fling part is like the all in part, right?
Yeah, okay.
They kind of go hand in hand in a way.
Because I was gonna say, dude, when Singe flips someone like Draven Blitzcrank, he's dead.
Right. So now that you know that, if you have some kind of both lanes want to do the same thing, right? You want to catch someone and then you want to all in them. So whoever lands more shit wins in this lane. Right. So in this game, as long as let's say Singe flips a minion, you don't want to fight no matter what, right? Because you guys already missed something, quote unquote. And then if Blitz misses a hook, you're like, yo, if Singe runs in, I'm gonna follow because there's no way we can lose, right? Purely 2v2, by the way. So yeah, that's kind of how you want to think about things, or how I would think about things, I would say. So then what happened in this lane that kind of went wrong? What'd you say?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we come out of laning phase pretty fine, but
Why did he lose flash, I guess?
Because he overextended, he just walked into them for no reason.
Let's back it up to this section right here. What's going on here? What's going on here that's super important for bot lane? No matter what matchup you are.
I have no idea.
Alright, so have you ever heard of the level 2 advantage?
Oh yeah. But we lost that early. I saw we weren't gonna get it, so.
Right, so when you're here, how come you can't get it? Well, how do you get level 2 as fast as possible without using abilities?
You kill the first. Well, you nuke the first melee minions, and then you kind of kill the first wave as fast as possible, and then kill the.
So how do you kill the first wave as fast as possible? Like, what are we doing here that we could be doing? I guess. Yeah, you gotta auto attack it, right? So then the question is, what if Draven hits you? You hit him back because you're winning.
I'm scared to walk up because of the blitz, though. That's why I'm not autoing.
What does blitz do level 1?
Hook.
How many minions do you have? you can't hook, and even if he does hook, it's not necessarily winning, right? So let's say it's similar to the idea of Leona level 1. How strong is Leona level 1?
Yeah, not that strong.
Right. Why is that?
I'm playing too scared.
Right. Because there's nothing they can really do to stop you from fighting for level 2, right? But that's a separate issue, right?
I think the point was like I was already in the mindset that I just was gonna have to farm this out, so playing for level 2 wasn't even gonna do anything for us.
Right. Exactly. That's kind of why.
But you're saying
kind of want to. Yeah, we want to examine these lanes to see what we can do, right? What we can and can't do, instead of just say we can't do anything at all, right? Because this happens, right? When you guys could be doing this to them instead. Because I think Singe's level 1 is gonna be much stronger than Blitzcrank, right? Blitz hooks you, he's gonna flip Draven. You guys are winning, I think. Or Blitz is like he's not gonna do anything level 1, right? You can't really do anything level 1 compared to someone who's stronger level 1, like Thresh or whatever this is, Singed, right? He actually took poison, so it doesn't really work. But if he had flip, for example, right? The reason why we're not afraid of this level 1 is the same reason why we're not afraid of Alistar level 1, right? Or Leona level 1 is because it's not strong. They need 2 levels to do something. Like level 2, you should be afraid because if he hooks you, you're gonna die because he has the fist, right? The knockout. But yeah, that's kind of the one thing that went wrong so far. But beyond that, it looks not bad, right? It's just that level 1 is kind of making it so you can't do anything else, right?
What about the exhaust versus ignite? I'm pretty sure Singed has exhaust this game.
Then you got, yeah, definitely. Then you just play like you have exhaust, right? Which is, if they have heal, you guys aren't really trying to all in, right? You're not trying to do anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically you play like you don't have ignite, right? Because you can't stop their heal.
Yeah.
That's kind of awkward. I think we almost die here. So what's going on here? Yeah.
I just wanted to stop him, really. I don't know if that makes. That's probably a bad play, I guess, but no.
You can try to stop him, but it's kind of like there's a better way to do it, right? Like, what if you stay behind this minion, or basically it's just like don't get hooked no matter what, right? That's like it's like the reason why doing this could be risky is because what if he's just trying to bait you and then his jungler's in this bush or something like that, or Draven didn't base, he's hiding behind Blitz, right? It's like your first goal isn't to really try and stop them, although that's really nice. Is to make sure you're not gonna like die in like kind of a weird way, because you don't really have any HP now, right? So maybe before we could have pushed this next wave out, but now we can't because their jungler can just come out and touch us and we die, right? Well, actually, I guess it's Nocturne, so maybe not, but it's a high probability.
If I didn't see Draven back, by the way, but that doesn't.
Right. It's just it's looking kind of dicey when you have no HP, right? You guys can actually win this, I think.
Really?
I guess not. If he flips, remember, whoever hits more stuff wins, right? So if they aim your tank, quote unquote, right, and he flips Draven, both of you are aiming Draven, so this is winning, right? It's just that we have no abilities because I don't know what happened here. What happened here?
This is where he gets hooked. He just doesn't.
What are we doing? What is something we're doing that we shouldn't be doing? I guess is the question. This part right here.
We shouldn't be CSing that?
Right. What are you using to last hit this?
My Q.
Right, and did you need to kill that minion? Was that minion gonna die before you got to it? I guess. Like, did this minion need abilities for it to die? Like, did you need to use your abilities for it to die?
Probably not. I'm not sure.
It's not,
caster
right?
minion was on it.
Yeah, that one caster minion is not gonna kill it in time, right? And then maybe if you say, oh, it is gonna kill it in time, then you use Q. But what else did you do that wasn't just Q?
I used my E to be sure.
Right, exactly. So kind of using our super important cooldowns on a minion that wasn't going to die is kind of it makes it so that we can't do anything if something like this happens, right? Or maybe Singed finds some kind of crazy flip and then you couldn't follow up, right? There's nothing you could do here because we didn't have any abilities. So that might be something to look at, right? What do you do instead of trying to get this minion? Like you can't walk out, right? Because he's just gonna hook you. So what do you do instead, right? It's always like, sure, this is not the greatest idea, but then we also say, what should you do instead next time, right? Or what should you do in theory, right?
Just wait for it to push into me.
Right, exactly. Just wait. There's no need to go for this, right? You don't have to you're not losing lane just because of this minion or whatever. It's just you need to be patient, right? Because you don't need to get that immediately. So yeah, here it's just there really wasn't much you could do. He just got hooked, and then you had no cooldowns. So I think we're getting dove here, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
There's no way to live this dive, so I think you should run. Or during a dive, what is the most important thing you should do?
Don't get hit by skill shots. CC.
What's the most important thing you should do, no matter what the matchup is?
Don't die.
Okay, how do you not die? How do you not die in a dive?
You hit the guy that's tanking the turret, maybe?
Okay, this is a better question. This is true. What you said is true, but okay, that's another way to do it, but you can't kill these minions, right? Yeah. How do you increase your chances of surviving a dive? We'll say.
Poke them before they dive me.
But your champion can't really poke anyone, right? It doesn't really make sense because AD carriers can't really poke people before a dive happens, right? Okay. When we say poke, we mean something like Xerath, right? Or Ziggs, right? You throw shit at them and they have no response, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to defending a dive, right? How do you make yourself as strong as possible?
I don't know. Live the longest.
Don't use anything, right? And don't trade.
Ah,
Oh,
have
you
everything up
actually
for
kill
the
them
dive.
here. Right, you need to have everything up for the dive. But
Okay.
you actually somehow you win with literally no abilities. So that's actually super impressive right here. You dodge his what's it called? His axes here.
Z.
That was
Yeah.
disgusting. But Blitzcrank also like didn't do anything, so that's kind of awkward too.
My
Very nice
triumph
though.
saved me so hard.
You did win the dive somehow, but I think that they could have easily just walked up and hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Blitzcrank Fist is over.
There's
right?
no way I should win this.
Right, exactly. And if you want to fight this dive, the most important thing for you to know is that you need to have as many tools as possible, right? Which means don't use abilities, don't lose any HP, right? And then that's kind of the way to go. But honestly, most of the time you're not gonna have to worry about fighting dives and stuff like that. So really well done by you though. I don't know how you won that, but okay then. Interesting.
I was trying to. The reason I used my Q and my E was I was trying to kill all the minions before they, and then I realized I had no time.
Right. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, so if there's anything more than 3 minions, you're not gonna kill it in time. Pretty much. Right. Like when you need to kill the minions, it's like, oh, how fast do you need to do it? You need to do it like before the second tower shot comes out, right? So that's how fast you need to do it. But somehow you win that. That was disgusting. Interesting. So this is already right. It's kind of like I think the recurring theme we're seeing is we kind of use abilities on minions a lot, I think, but maybe you could have better value. Like for example, we're doing it here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we could find a better usage of your abilities. Right. So instead of you could use it here if you say like say what would be a good reason to use your abilities on a wave like this? What's a good reason?
So one reason would be that it thins out the wave so we can take less damage on the turret and minimize the risk of a dive. Okay, so junglers here.
Right. So are you at any risk right now?
Say what?
Are you at risk of being dove? I would say.
Well, I don't know because I don't see the jungler.
Well, if you have the ward in the tri bush, then and the ward in the close bush, then he can't. There's no actual gank, right?
I mean, he can walk from. No, there is. He can take the blast cone over to my Krugs.
So let's say he's behind you then, right? I actually don't see the blast cone up, but let's say the blast cone is up. Then maybe it might be possible, right? But honestly, since it's Nocturne, he doesn't even need a blast cone, right?
Okay.
So
true.
Basically you want to have a very good reason for using abilities all the time, right? And I think that this actually might be really smart in terms of we need to clear this instead of just getting the CS because a gank could be happening, right? They could like hook Singe and then we're gonna die, right? But I think we're seeing a pattern of you're gonna use it on minions like
no matter what.
right, exactly. Oh my god, you guys almost killed his ass right there. That was really close, but
what?
Like this is another thing we can talk about, right? Why is this not good damage?
I
would say usually this is very good, but in this specific lane, why is it not good? Looking at his items.
Because he has a BF sword and okay, so he has it's not a BF sword, it's a Vamp Scepter.
Yes, he has a Vamp Scepter. So
unless we all in him right away, it doesn't matter.
Right, we're wasting abilities basically, right? It's because he's just gonna heal up in 2 hits, right? So maybe not 2 or 3, but it's gonna be like he's already full HP, right? So we were kind of that's also something we have to be aware of, right? If they have sustain, your poke is less. You need more out of your quote unquote poke if you have poke, right? I can sometimes poke, but it's super important because every time you do that, Singe cannot flip.
Right.
Every time you do that, Singe can't go in. Right. That's the same reasoning as you're doing it and then your Leona can't go in or whatever. Right. Whatever your engage is, whatever your trade is, they can't really do anything if we have no abilities out. This guy's actually gonna die. Holy shit. Very nice mechanics. Clean. He's gonna flip this guy.
That's what I was trying to do last time, but I misplayed it. Didn't get the
Wait,
first.
what? Why didn't he flip? What's going on?
I don't know. I was waiting.
Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Oh, are we dying? Okay, well, I guess he doesn't have enough, so.
He has a fucking flash.
That's good enough. I think that's fine. What's something you should be wary of here if you didn't notice him show up on the map?
Him who?
Nocturne? Yeah, Nocturne, right? Is you need to make sure that
of his ult.
Yeah. He showed up on the map, but I'm not sure you knew in the middle of fighting. All right, because it's always hard to tell. Right, so whenever you're chasing, always double check. Right, where the jungler is. That's like a common what's it called? That's like a common thing you see is you get a kill, you chase for the support, jungle shows up, right? Or you kill both bot laners, jungle shows up, right? Or the enemy bot lane kills you, your jungler shows up, right? I think that's one of the he actually did show up, right? So that's one of the most common I don't know if the right word is trope, but that's like one of the most common patterns you'll see in the bot lane, right? He actually went for Singed for some reason, but you guys get away, which is nice, but definitely I think you're dying here if he ults you, right?
Sure.
We didn't have enough mana for W, so interesting how that was a really nice heal. So I think our mechanics are really good. It's just maybe we can work on some kind of decision making when it comes to using abilities. Right.
Yeah.
Like here, for example, it's really the same thing, right? So it's like if you say maybe this root kills him, which maybe if we're playing Leona, Alistar, anything like that, it would. But I don't think you were trying to go for something like that, right?
I think I'm so scared of not getting the minions that I try to overcompensate with using all the abilities to get it when I can.
Here's the actual trick is that when you do that with your abilities, you're gonna miss more minions than not. Because some of them will be at like a certain HP where the tower hits them and there's no way you can get it, right?
Yeah.
So just when in doubt, you just let it come in, okay? We don't need to like thin out the wave or anything like that, right? Like I did not do that, even in Challenger, right? Even in like rank 20, I didn't do anything like that, right? Okay. Only now when I know more about laning and stuff, where you have a specific reason to do that, but it's not really. It's like something like this will always happen before that becomes a thing, right? Something like this will happen, right? This right here, where he gets hooked or we take a bad trade, right? That will happen 999 times out of 1,000 when you try to do something like, oh, we're gonna thin out the wave so that the minions don't hit our tower, right? That's not something we need to worry. That's not something we need to worry about, right? We have bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
So don't use abilities to clear waves, right? Just last them normally, right? We don't really care about our tower damage, right? The only thing we care about is hitting them and last hitting minions. Okay. Don't worry about when the wave is coming in. You need to thin it out or whatever like that. You don't need to do that. That's just. I think right now that's just a trap for you, right? It's like a bad habit almost in a way, right? So the way you think about it is you're gonna let it push in, and then if they try to hit your tower, you can hit them.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go, right? Don't worry about minion damage on tower. That's not gonna matter as much, right?
Okay.
And then Nocturne comes in, whatever. They're pushing us in, sure. Like I said, we'll miss more than not, right? Using abilities on the minions. So I think we missed one there, but every time, oh my god, this guy's dying. What is he doing?
I think I got everyone actually.
Does Singe have flash? I guess not. But yeah, you guys can definitely fight, right? So how do we know you can fight this?
Because he's alone.
Right, it's 1v2. So if you can fight like immediately, he's 100% dead. So let's say Singe can't find it for whatever reason. How do you find it?
W auto QE.
Right, something like that. W auto QE or something like Q ulti, anything like that, right? You also can start it, but you don't have to, right? It's just probably much safer for Singe to try and find it. Yeah, anytime he's alone like that, it's good idea. Oh, here we go. See, this is what we mean by you guys can win 2v2, right? They hook Singe, he flips Draven. Oh no, what happened? Okay, so what happened here?
Well, first of all, he got hooked, and second of all, he flipped him out of my route. That was unfortunate.
Well, we know getting hooked is good, right? Like
I mean,
it's
really,
the same...
Singe is squishy, dude. Look, he's like half HP already.
So if I said this is a trade kill, they kill Singe, you kill Draven, who wins?
Oh well, we win technically.
Right, so you guys win. So we know this is winning, right? It's like if Blitzcrank hooks Alistar, who's winning? You guys are winning, right?
Yeah.
If you had an Alistar or if you had a Leona.
Universe is this a winning Like when do I kill Draven in this scenario?
So what do we miss here that made it so that we couldn't kill him?
Well, I'm 10 feet away. I'm too far.
No, we're not. We're actually not too far. We're close enough to make this happen.
Okay,
right?
so I missed the route.
So there are two big parts of Xayah's kit that does damage, right?
Her W.
Yes, her W,
Her E.
and how many auto attacks do we get off W?
How many arrows do you mean? Or
How many auto attacks do we get while using
like
W?
4 or 5.
We got one, right?
Yeah.
We got one
Oh,
auto
yeah,
attack,
right,
so
right.
we have nothing from the W section. And what about our
What
E?
am I gonna do? I can't fight them 1v2, can I? Like, should I just run at Draven and auto him?
It's
When
not
Singe is
1v2,
dead?
right?
Okay,
You have
so
your
I hit him
Singe is
once, right? And then Singe is dead. Like, by the time I hit one auto on him, Singe is dead.
right, but they have no cooldowns, and you have all these feathers set up.
I guess you're
right? And you can kill him. Okay, so let's say this is just a practice dummy with this amount of HP, right?
Okay.
Can you kill him with all your abilities?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So when Singe flips him, he can't move, right? So if you press W and hold on to your E until the last second when you after your ulti, that's a kill, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
the reason why we kind of lose the 2v2 is because we missed everything. Right, we use our E too early, right?
Yeah,
because in an all-in, do we use our E for 3 feather root, or do we use our E for maximum damage?
Maximum damage, obviously.
Right. How do we know it's an all-in?
How do we know it's an all-in? When he gets hooked.
Yes,
he
when
turns
someone
to-
can't get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone can't get away, you know it's an all-in. So you're going for max damage. So the reason why you guys lose the 2v2 isn't because he dies super quick, because he actually lived for quite a long time, right? It's because we missed everything, right? Like how many kills do you need before you say you can win that?
How many Qs?
How many kills? You have 4 kills, right? And you have like an item advantage. So how much more money do we need before we say that we can just do this, right?
Right.
Because you can have an Infinity Edge and you're gonna lose this if you miss everything, right? You can have an Infinity Edge and an Essence Reaver and we're gonna lose because we miss everything, right?
Dude,
so,
Draven is scary, bro.
right. But he's the same as any other champion, right? It's just that his strengths lie in catch and all in, whereas something like Xayah can also catch all in, and then something like Ashe is just pure catch, but from like a global distance, right? So everyone has their own strengths, but it's true that Draven's really good at all in, but it doesn't mean you automatically lose, right? If they focus your support and you and your support focus him, you're gonna win.
Okay, so I should be more confident in the versus Draven as long as the
Right, as long as the matchup, as long as the matchup says so, right? Like if this was Janna, could you win? If Janna got hooked, would you guys win?
No.
Yeah, you automatically lose because she can't do anything, right? Instant die. So it's gonna be 1v2, right? But it's not Janna. We have some kind of all-in catch support, right? That's the same as Leona, Alistar, Thresh. Thresh landing hook would be the same thing, right? Thresh landed hook after you got hooked would be the same thing as Singe landing his flip, right? So it's just we kind of just missed everything, right? It was the issue here.
Yeah.
So how do we So how do we do this? What would you say? What's the order?
So I should W and then hold my Q, I think. And auto, like I should wait. W, auto, and then when they turn on me, I should ulti and then E.
Yes, perfect. You're just gonna W him, and then when they turn around, you Q ulti, and then you E flash if you have to, right? And then it's 100 is unbeatable, right? He has to flash your E if he even has it, right? He has to flash your E flash, which I promise you they can't do, right? Like I can't even do it half the time. So that's almost like a unbeatable play, right?
Okay.
So that's what you go for. But the main idea is that you have to hold on to your E, and you have to get as many auto attacks as possible on your W.
Right.
When you're doing an all-in. So that was kind of the issue we were seeing, is that you just tried to go for the root, I think, which was by itself an idea that doesn't really quite fit in an all-in.
It was the wrong situation, yeah.
Right, it's the wrong situation to go for it. And then the second part is we didn't hold on to it because your Singe is gonna flip, right? So this is also winning, right? We'll say this is also winning. Even with this Nocturne here, you can win this, right? So, right, easy, right? We already know before it happens is kind of the idea. This is like kind of how you win League of Legends. Is you know you win before it happens, right?
Yeah.
Like I predicted that you were gonna win before you won, right? It was just simple. It's just basically because of the same situation that happened before. Is that they were focusing your support who's tanky, and you guys just focus him, and that's winning. They even had a Nocturne. You're still winning, right? So it just goes to show that as long as we are kind of executing correctly, we're winning. Oh my god, I just W'd into your face. You're gonna win, right? As long as you put yourself in a situation where you cannot lose, you're gonna win every time, right? So this is perfect. What you did right here. Did you notice? Big difference between the other fight, right? Where we press W, we're hitting him a bunch of times, and then we only turn with our ulti, right? We turn with our ulti and then we press E, and there's nothing they could do, right? So, was there anything they could have done to win this? Would you say?
I mean, Draven could have walked downwards towards like where I am after I flashed to avoid the feathers.
Right, but you could also argue that you can aim it in a certain way that he can't do anything, right? So
Right.
There's just no way, right?
Well, Blitz could have tanked at least 2 more turret shots. Does that matter though? I don't think so.
The tower shots did not matter, right? This guy was for sure dying after you flashed. So there's nothing they could do. It's kind of the idea.
Is that a loaded question, kind of, or
no? It's just
nothing they could do, right?
Yeah, there's nothing they could do, right? It was basically set up in a way that as long as you have the idea right, where you're going to go for the all-in damage and you're going to ulti when they turn. There's nothing they can do to stop it, right? They put themselves in a situation that's automatically losing, right? So when we use our abilities on minions, we're doing the same thing that they're doing, right? And then when we kind of don't execute correctly when they give us the win, then that's also something that we can look at, right? It's just not following up 100% correctly. Like our mechanics are really good. It's just now we need to know when to use what, right? If that makes any sense in any given situation. What the hell? Are you serious? You see this? Is that for real? Dude, your Annie just like ultied the wave.
No, she's trolling me, dude. Check out the chat. Cause I took. Oh my god, I remember this now. I took her. She was doing Krugs, and then.
That's
and then she tilted.
That's kind of tragic.
She follows me around for the rest of the game, I think, taking my red and shit.
Or just ignore that. But pushing, doing dragon, fine. Everything's Gucci. And then where do we go here? How do we lose top inhibitor? This game is a mess. Oh my god.
This is 1500 more, dude.
Seems good. I would recommend that you mute all at the beginning of the game, because any kind of typing is not helpful. I noticed that the lower the rank is, the less useful chat is. Right. It actually does nothing except serve to distract from the game. So I would recommend for sure just muting all.
When do I turn it on?
You don't turn it on.
At what elo do I turn it on?
You turn it on when you're rank 20. That's when you turn it on. That's when you need to know flash timers. And even then, I still mute people. So you don't need to turn that shit on ever. Like I was in Korea, right? And I could not understand Korean, but I could get to masters at least, right? So you don't need chat to play the game. Chat is only used in League of Legends to flame your teammates or to upset your opponents, right? 9 times out of 10. So pretty useless, I would say. All right, let's watch what's going on here. So we're doing for some kind of tower defense. I think someone got like a disgusting 3-man knockup, right? This is why you don't siege towers for no reason. And then he dies for free. I think that was a really nice follow-up. And then what's going on here? Oh, you guys are chasing. Whatever. We can skip past this. You guys killed someone for free, so you're gonna win them all. Sure. Push mid. You can even Baron if everyone wants to. Wait. Yeah, I don't know why you guys aren't Baroning, but sure.
I don't know.
Maybe people didn't have enough HP, so they had the base, right? So that could be a reason. Right? Oh, actually, Kane was dead or something, right? So you guys couldn't actually Baron. That's fine. You're looking for extra stuff in their jungle. Nothing to find. That's fine. You can't really help this guy, I think. Oh, I think you're dying to Blitzcrank. Hold up.
I'm never dying to Blitzcrank.
What is going on? I think you need to leave. Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on in this fight. Pure just fighting now, right? Wait, what rank is this? This is gold.
I think this was a silver 1 game or something.
Oh, okay. This is super chaotic, but looks like it's just fighting 24/7, right? You're gonna get ultied if you're not careful. Oh.
Wait, let me check
Okay.
No,
Interesting.
This is a gold 5 game. 1500 MR. Or ELO.
Okay. There's gonna be a lot more fighting than usual. So we're gonna talk a lot about fighting. So when it comes to fighting, team fighting, skirmishes, whatever, we already talked a little bit about like skirmishes, right? Like how do you do your maximum damage, right? You're like, oh, press W, auto attack, and then save your E and your ulti, right? So when it comes to team fighting, how do you play team fights out?
Well, I use my W to get the max damage on the people that I can hit safely.
All right, let's think of more of a let's bring it more of a general idea than a mechanical idea. Right. So what are you supposed to do in a team fight?
Me as an AD carry or?
Yes, you as an AD carry.
Kill shit. Do damage and not die. Do max damage.
Right. Do damage and not die. Right. You can't necessarily kill shit. Right. If you try and kill people, that's kind of how we fall into a trap. Anymore. Right. It's not. Your job is to really kill people. Your job is to, you know, you're supposed to be the guy in your team where if they screw up, you're gonna kill them all. Right. But it's not like you can't force anything. How do you force something here? Right. You can't really force anything. So your job is hit the closest guy. Right? Your job is to stay alive and hit the closest guy. Otherwise, we got some issues, right? So when you look at what's going on here, that we're kind of.
Wait? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. What's up?
Do I always hit the closest guy, or do I hit like the highest priority, safest target to hit?
Okay, so here's the general overview of a team fight, right? Is number one, you're going to make sure that you can't die for whatever reason, right? Like, let's say, for example, your Malphite landed a 5-man ulti, but if you try and walk up and hit someone, Orianna's going to ulti you back. Right, so do you walk up and hit someone?
No.
Right, because let's say we have no flash, we're going to insta-die. So that's how we know that your first priority is stay alive. Because if you try and hit the closest guy and you don't stay alive, instantly Fizz ulti, Rengar ulti, dude, I don't even care, dude. There's so much shit nowadays that would just one-shot you that your first priority has to be stay alive, right? How many times have you died to Camille, right? How many times have you died to Thresh, Leona, Alistar, Blitzcrank, any of these champions? You've died to all of this shit, right? Yeah, it's not new. It's not new stuff. So that's your first priority is stay alive, right? Stay safe. Your second priority is hit the closest guy, right? Because that's usually your safest target. And then you have a third option, which is you can choose to not hit the closest guy as long as it's better than hitting the closest guy, and it has to work. Like you have some kind of crazy play, like we saw at the tower, you had some ulti play, right? And you knew it was gonna work because Kayn had knocked them up, right? And you know they couldn't stop you because other people who were CC'd were knocked up, right? So that's how you know it's 100% gonna work, and it's better than hitting the closest guy because you're gonna get like a 3-man ulti, right? So those are your 3 priorities, right? In that order, right? So what are we doing here that is kind of breaking that?
Replay it. I don't know. I'm hitting the closest target.
Where did all our HP go?
Well, I walked across the fucking court.
Right. So, you're attempting to hit the closest target, but we're kind of walking through something not good.
The Draven ulti, yeah.
Alright. The Draven ulti, you can say matters less. It's just that we're kind of what do we gain by walking through this thing?
Nothing. It's
you hit blitz once, I think, right? So your job is literally take no damage, right? It's not necessarily take no damage, but stay as safe as possible, right? So taking free damage is not too good. It's the same as, you know, Ziggs throws his E down. Do you walk through it to hit someone?
No, of course not.
Right. So what would be a reasonable example where you can walk through it to hit someone?
If I'm gonna kill them?
Yes, if you're gonna kill someone, you can walk through. As long as it's not gonna kill you, right? You can walk through and kill someone, right? In this case, is there anything like that going on?
Nope.
right? There's nothing resembling that. So
I don't
you would.
think I even processed that the package was there until it was too late, and then I tried to walk back.
That's kind of awkward. So maybe it's like a quirky thing, right?
Yeah.
That you haven't seen enough before. But the more you play, right, the more you'll see the same stuff. So as if you've seen it before, right, like this Nocturne ult that's coming, then you should know to
Dude, you're way too
stay
good
away
at
from
this
it.
game.
It's just it's not necessarily that I'm too good. It's just I've died to this a million times, right? How many times have I died to Nocturne? Every time. How many times have I died to Rengar ult? Every time. Okay, every time. And then how do I know it's coming? Because you don't see him, right? So of course he could be right here. He's gonna fucking ult you, right? So how do I know it's gonna happen? I'm pretending I'm Nocturne. I see this 80k or 20% health. I'm gonna ulti his ass, right? So then you're playing Xayah because you say there's as a really good champion, you have a free escape, right? So if they do go for you, what's your response, right? So if he ults you, what's your response?
If I ulti, what's my response? Oh, if he ultis,
if Nocturne is going for you, what's your response, right?
I'm ulting.
Right, but we didn't know that, so we didn't have a response, which is kind of the problem we're having in this fight. Is that your safety comes first.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why your job isn't to do damage, right? We didn't say it's to do damage, is because if you ulti this Nocturne and your team kills him, how much damage did you do to him?
Very, very little.
But you by yourself killed someone with a bait, right? So that's why we say it's not necessarily your job to kill everyone, right? You have a mid laner, and sometimes you have a carry top laner or a carry jungler. It's not really your job to kill everyone. It's just your job is to be there, and if they screw up, you're gonna kill everyone. That's the thing. Is that if they screw up, you're gonna kill everyone, right? Your job is just to be the scaling damage. Right. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to like if you didn't touch this Draven, he was dying no matter what. Right. Yeah. You don't actually have to do damage. You just have to make sure you don't do what he does. Right. What did he do? That was not good.
He turned around and tried to fight.
Right. He got flipped basically. Right. He got CC'd. So instant dead. Goodbye Draven, and then we kind of do the same thing though, right?
Yeah, I should have lived if I just press R.
Exactly. So this is the idea. This is the idea I want you to do for team fights at least. Is number one is you need to stay safe, right? Number one is being safe. Number two is hitting the closest guy, right? And I don't think you really have any problems with mechanics, but I think it's this idea of when to fight / having your priorities straight, right?
Right.
So the first priority is just make sure you stay alive, right? And honestly, even though we were like nitpicking with the other stuff in lane, you still ended up 9-1 and 9, right? So if you do lose, it's gonna be because of this stuff, right? Where we get super strong, and then how much did we contribute in that fight? We ate a Nocturne on, that was about it, right?
Yeah.
And if we had lived, we could have done Baron, for example. So
I mean,
this guy is still following you.
But it was just the only game that was available, since the other one was bugged.
Dude, wins are fine, right? As long as it's showing us what you can work on, right? Which is so far looks like
a lot.
Your team fighting priority, right? Yeah, it's like we can look at laning and stuff, but that could be attributed to being Draven, right? Draven's not. You're not gonna see Draven every game, right? Or anything like that. So.
No, but I definitely have more trouble in team fights than as the game enters the late game.
Right. So this is really clean, right? Stayed safe, hit the closest guy, and then this is just free win, right?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, right? That's all you have to do. The big thing we just need to make sure is that this Nocturne ulti is coming.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you ever get blindsided, you have an issue, right? If you're using everything on Blitz, but you're not prepared for Nocturne, then it might be a problem. But think it's okay. I
used my E too early, I think.
Right. And how do we know that?
Because I used it before Nocturne was on me, and I used it before I threw my ulti down.
Right. We didn't know that we needed it for Nocturne, right? Or you didn't know during the fight you needed it for Nocturne.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So you ended up using it on Blitz because it was like we were just trying to hit the closest guy, but we forgot this guy was coming out. It's just since we had an ulti, we're good to go.
Right.
So the idea is that you plan it out beforehand, right? You know what he's gonna do. Let's say if I told you Nocturne is gonna ult you every single fight, you would play differently, right? Because he's gonna
Yeah.
ulti you every single fight, right?
And he pretty much does, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly, right? At this rank, they will do exactly what you think they would do. At my rank, they will do exactly what you think they'll do, right? They have a twisted phase, gonna ulti bot every time, okay? They have a gangplank, he's gonna ulti bot, right? It's the same thing. They have anything like Singe, he's gonna throw his adhesive and flash fling you, right? You know this because you've seen it, right? That's how you know. So it's just, you know, I think you've played enough. Like, how many seasons have you played?
Since maybe season 3, I had a year break.
Right, so you've pretty much seen it all, right? Nothing's really new. The only new stuff should be like newly reworked champions or stuff like that, right? But most of this stuff, yeah. That you can like die to and then you can learn from it. But you know, dying to Nocturnal, dying to Blitzcrank Hook, it's all the same stuff, right?
Yeah, that's unforgivable.
And then what's going on here? Okay, I think your team is killing them top, so you can just push mid. Sure, I think this is fine. Nocturne can't kill you. You have ulti, and then this is just 4v5. You just kill them all. Okay, this game's just over, I guess. Yeah. So the things you can look at for so far, right? We're gonna watch other games, but so far what I'm seeing is that we kind of are wasting abilities in lane, right? It's maybe not a waste because you're using it for a reason, right? You're like, oh, I want to clear the wave. But there's a better reason to hold on to it, right? And then for team fights, we're kind of not really prioritizing our safety, right? And I think those are kind of the main issues we're seeing because at this rank, it's just all fighting, right? So we don't have to worry about any kind of like pushing waves or sieging towers or anything like that. It's just you fight well, you kill everyone, you take an objective, right? That's all you have to do right now. That's your cookie cutter strat for now. Is that, oh my god, your team banned Xayah, feels bad. Yeah, I would say definitely mute all in when the game starts because you know it's just not helpful. Chat's not helpful. So if anyone's like
people in lobby in the
what I do is I just scroll up in the chat. So if they say new stuff, it doesn't show up. Right, I just can't see it. But that's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just if basically when you find yourself looking at the chat instead of the map, that's when you know. Right. That's when you know that it's not good. So let's see what's going on here. We're pushing for level 2, I think. That's honestly that's fine. It doesn't really matter that much, right? They have a Lulu and a Tristana. So tell me how this matchup goes, right? We'll practice this lane idea.
Okay. How this matchup goes?
Yes.
So I'm looking for Braum to tag them to get the passive.
Okay, then... let's do more broad first, because this is true, but let's do like categories. Okay.
So we're like kind of a catch lane.
Why would you say catch?
Because if Braum, like, he can either W to minion and get the passive, or he can slow them and get the passive with the Q, and then I can dash forward, and they're basically stunned.
Agreed. Well, with the Braum stuff, right, is that skill shot base CC is gonna be catch. So yeah, he can definitely catch people. What else would you guys categorize? What else? How else would you categorize? I guess.
An all in.
Why is that?
Well, it's a number of reasons. Because of the Braum's passive and his shield is really OP.
I would say the passive for sure. We don't really care about the shield as much, but that does count. Right? We're only looking for big reasons, right? Okay. So when someone says we're a poke lane, it's not because they have Caitlyn, but because they have Xayah, right? You don't say Caitlyn's poke lane, even though she can, have some small poke. It's not like Xerath in your face, it's like that's super cancer, or Lux, right? Lux is probably more catch than poke, but you know what I mean, right? Big reasons. You want big reasons that will beat item advantages, right? That's what you're looking for. So I'll say the Braum passive is a really big one, right? Yeah. And then Lucian, I guess, is all in because he's got the passive, right? Auto attack reset on everything, and his passive shots, right? And then what about Tristana, Lulu?
Tristana, Lulu, they're a poke lane.
Right. Lulu wants to. It is poke, right? We'll say it's poke because you don't really have a response to it. You can also say trade. I would say less trade than poke because Lulu's shield is okay, right? It's not as strong as say Jenna, right? Or Nami wave, right? Anything like that. So,
right.
You know that you just want to catch / all in them, right? And I would say you can argue that Lucian wants to trade if you had pressed the attack, right? Or if you can trade against Tristana, auto Q auto would be very strong. But oh, feels bad almost. I thought that was gonna hit, but still overall good. I would say. Close, but no cigar.
Really strong.
It is not bad, right? It is not bad. So, in this lane, if we ever see you try to trade or anything that doesn't resemble catch all in, then we know we're doing something wrong. But it looks like we're doing the same. It looks like we're doing good, right?
Because we definitely don't want to trade with them, right? Because of the shield and the bomb.
Right. So, if you watch, high ranked players, if you watch their replays, they will go for some interesting ideas. Like, Tristana wants that last hit, you can try and hit her. But I would say for now, we stay away from that because that allows mistakes more than not, right? And that's even at the higher ranks, that's countered by instead of going for the minion, they hit you instead. Right. And then all of a sudden it's a trade that you don't want. So, I would say stick to what the matchup says for sure, right? Because more times than not, if you play outside the matchup, it's gonna go wrong, right? All that has to happen is that it just goes wrong once, and then you guys are doomed, right? It's just donezo. So like something like this, it went even. This is like an even trade, right? But then what would have happened if she shielded her in time?
We would have lost hardcore.
Exactly, you're definitely losing, right? So basically, just because when he misplayed, you went even, right? That's how bad it is.
Right.
They had to misplay and you went even. She could have even thrown an auto attack on top of her bomb, and you would be in trouble even without the shield. So, it's just AD carry has less impact in terms of the categories, right? So if something like Lucian is technically Lucian can out trade a lot of AD carries, right? But the reason why we don't give him the trade category is because any kind of support trade will always beat that. Right? If you're playing Draven and they have a Nami, you're still gonna lose trades, right? Even though Draven's gonna beat Tristana, right? His axes are disgusting, but all she has to do is hit once with a shield and you're losing, right? So always go off the support if you're not sure, right? Which is why I was like, with the Singe versus Blitz, I was like, oh, you guys are trying to do the same thing. If Singe flips Draven, you guys can win, right? That's how we kind of knew. Even though we don't really see Singe support or anything like that, right? So yeah, let's see what's going on here. Looks like we're just farming it out. Sure. Nothing crazy going on. Oh, this is a catch. Wow. Okay. I would say it's a reasonable flash. Maybe. Do you guys have ignite?
Do you think it's fine to flash there?
What would have happened if your Shaco was right here? And she did not flash.
Well, did they know the Shaco was there?
That's the thing.
They
don't know. Is that if you make a mistake and you don't flash and Shaco's here, it's over.
Well, it was.
Right, that's the thing, right? You can't assume Shaco's not here, right? And Shaco actually was here, so I think that's losing for them.
So do you always preemptively flash then, thinking the AD carry? I mean the jungler's there.
You will flash if something like you're gonna die if you get hit by it. Let's say you're playing. How many times have you seen an AD carry get hit by Morgana binding? And they're playing Morgana Caitlyn. Caitlyn just puts a bunch of chops down, he's dead. So is it better to get hit by it and die or flash?
No, definitely not.
Right, exactly. So that's just actually playing smart. Most people can't do that, but I was actually surprised to see her flash because it's actually reasonable, right? We'll say that's reasonable. What the hell happened here? Let me watch this. All you had to do was just touch her and leave, right? So that's kind of awkward how he died. Oh my god, he flashed in, dude. Oh my god. All right, well, that's not really your fault. You did everything good enough, right? So good for you. That's good. And then push this out. Okay, base. That's fine. Pink ward is very good. Pink ward is very good, right? Especially when you have the catch / all in lane, right? Oh my god, Alawi is gonna get some massive damage.
Never thought about that. Why is a pink ward especially good when you have a catch?
How do they face check?
Exactly.
If you have a Jenna, them face checking results in losing like 30% health or maybe 50%. If they face check Blitzcrank, it's like, oh, goodbye dragon, right? Goodbye double kill on dragon or something like that. So, oh, okay, what's going on here?
This is true because I always buy pink wards, but maybe I don't actually have to most of the time.
Yeah, I always say sometimes you can consider not getting it depending on your lane, but a lot of times you're gonna want to. Wow, he chased so hard, you're gonna win this. Oh my god, you're not gonna win this. Oh, you are gonna win this. Oh no, the Braum can't get the Q. Never mind.
Wait,
it's really close. It's really close. Yeah, dude. Nah, I'm just a sham, dude. So what happened here? What would you say? What happened here?
Well, we just talked about it. The face checks, completely unnecessary.
Right. So what should you do instead?
Just walk back. Just don't. Yeah, just back off.
Right. We can wait for Braum. Is the problem? Right.
Right.
This can be good if you have your support here, but he's not close enough, right?
Yeah.
You also are missing what? You're not ready. You're not ready to face check Y.
Because I have no cooldowns.
Exactly. So that's why we say this could be a recurring pattern we're seeing when you use abilities on minions, right? This is good if you want to hard shove the wave, right? Do we want to hard shove the wave?
Do we want to hard shove the wave? Well, it looks like that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I want to because if I leave it the way it is right now. Wait. No, I'm retarded. It's gonna slow push to me, isn't it? Yeah.
This is pushing towards you, right?
Yeah, this is definitely pushing towards me. I'm retarded.
So, do you want to push this? Do you not want to push this? What would you like? Is the question really?
If I could do that over again, I would just back off and last hit.
And why? What's the reason?
Because it's gonna slow push to us, and then.
No, why is that good?
Because that draws them towards us. Like to get farm, they have to come to our side of the river, I guess.
Okay, and why do you want them on your side of the river?
Because we want to all in them.
Right. Our matchup tells us we want to catch them, right?
Yeah. So
depending on our matchup, it'll tell us if we want to push, not push, whatever. But it's definitely something you want to be trying to fit with your matchup, right? So something like you want to let this push in because Lulu has no flash. So if Braum Qs her, we're gonna go in, right?
Right.
Is kind of the idea. That's how you know you don't want to push this, right? So that's why I'm saying we kind of have a habit on using abilities on minions no matter what, you know.
Right.
And then this is just like
so much stuff I never think about.
Right. It kind of all comes together in a way.
Yeah.
But we do like pieces and pieces at first, so we can link it all together. So this is kind of awkward because we shouldn't have checked.
Yeah.
Just never check without abilities, I guess. Honestly, it's kind of weird because I thought you knew they'd be there, right? Because they showed up on the river and then they came back. So this is kind of like if you don't know where they are, you have to pretend they're in the bush, right? If you lose track of them, you have to pretend they're in the bush, right? You can't assume anything. So this, I think you actually should have lost. You should have lost for free, right? I don't know why she kept going, but she could have backed off and you guys would have lost minions, I think. So not good. But honestly, you're really getting away with it with these games. So it's kind of interesting. Your mechanics are really good compared to the other guys. It's just we kind of put ourselves in a spot where your mechanics can't get out of. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How come we didn't want to dash here, for example?
Because she can cancel it with her. I don't know what fucking ability it is, but she pulls me towards her.
Right, she can cancel it. So what would the correct response be if she was going to ulti you no matter what?
Wait for her to use the ability and then dash.
Yes, perfect. Right. So these are the kind of things you can put your mechanics to good use of because I think you're mechanically skilled enough to be able to plan this and execute. Right. Most people can't even like do it. Even if they know about it, they can't do it. But I think we can do it. It's just if you want to like use your mechanics to outplay people at this rank, this is how you do it. Or you come up with a plan that's unbeatable due to your mechanics. You're gonna ulti with Xayah or something like that, and then outplay like that. But I think we're kind of just playing as we see it. You know what I'm saying? She's coming in.
I had a plan there, but because I have a question, because I never played Diana once in my life. So is it impossible to dash in time for her not to get it off in time? Or does she always cancel it?
So if you dash first, she always has the outplay potential, if that makes sense.
Okay.
right? So when we say I'll play potential, I kind of mean like you throw a stun at Fiora, it's her choice. It's like on the burden of skills on her, right?
So when she
throw it
ultis
back.
to me, I cannot dash and faster than she can cancel my dash.
Yeah, you cannot dash. You cannot dash faster than she can cancel, right?
Okay.
It's impossible. So
because I thought I could. So
no, there's no way. You'd have to like say something like I'm dashing as she's ulting or something like that, and that's I think that's kind of even more unreasonable, yeah, to try and do, right? So I think that makes even less sense. I've seen less of that than I have of the other thing we talked about. So
right. Okay.
So I think we get away from the game.
Hold your dash until exactly. Okay.
All right, a lot of mechanical things we talked about today pretty much involve we can hold on to it for better use, right? Like Xayah E or maybe Lucian E or anything like that. So it's pretty much when in doubt you hold on to it, right? When in doubt you hold on to it. Like let's see what's going on here, for example.
No, can we not watch this ulti, please?
Right. So it's the same thing, right? Is that it's better to hold on to it unless you know for sure, right? League is all about consistency, right? How consistent can you get these abilities to good value, right? So if it's not consistent, then there's a problem, right? So yeah, you kind of have no ulti now. So winning all in is less certain, but I still think you guys can win all in, right? Another thing to think about laning matchups is I think for now pre-6 is what you should focus on, right? Like let's say we're catch, and all that stuff. That can change at level 6.
Okay.
Right. But for now we'll focus on pre-6, right?
Okay.
Like let's say Leona is all in, right? And then level 6 her all in gets even better, for example, right? Or let's say you're playing Caitlyn and she's poke / catch, right? And then level 6 she doesn't get anything, so she's weaker at level 6, right? For example, there's just some things to consider, right? Alistair's level 6 doesn't really help him all in, right? Just makes him more tankier, right? But for now we'll focus on the pre-6 because after level 6 is not going to matter as much, I think, for these games. So like there have already been like 6 death spot or something crazy like that, right? You already have three kills or something, 2 kills and an assist. So okay, let's talk about this. So after laning phase happens, what do you do?
We rotate to other lanes and try and get the outer turrets. No.
What if that was Malphite top?
Then. Well, wouldn't we want to swap still?
Okay, why? Why do you want to swap?
Well, not right now. Right now, the best thing is to go bot because Mountain Drake's still up, I think. No?
There's always a why. There's always a why in here, right? There's always a why. Why do you swap? Why do you not swap, etc., etc.?
So my first thought was we should swap because we want priority over Rift Herald because that's gonna help us get objectives. But then I see Mountain Drake's up still, so we should probably get that first. Right.
So this is the dilemma that bot lane has when you're winning. Is what do I do? Right. So if you're hard winning, let's say you have 6 kills, you want to stay bot. Why do you want to stay bot?
Cause I wanna. Wait, do I?
In this situation, let's say everything is up. You want to stay bot, and you have 6 kills.
Okay. Well, I want to stay for the Drake.
Okay, so you're going to push out, steal their blue buff, and do dragon, right? Versus, let's say you swapped and you go top, and then they send their support top. So now it's 3v3 top. What do you get, and how do you know? You not sure, right? It's like how do we know we're winning that? We don't know because you're not necessarily winning that, right? The reason why, if you're super far ahead, you want to stay bot is because if you match their bot lane, you already know you're winning. Right. True. But if you go top and then they send their support top, you have a problem now, right? You don't know if you can get anything really. So
but at the same time, we're not like doing anything with our lead. Like
you are doing something with your lead. Didn't you say you were doing dragon?
Well, yeah.
So if you get dragon and then you swap, it's different because you already got a dragon, right? And then also on top of that, there's nothing else to do bot side, you could say, right? And then once you get to a certain item advantage, you can actually start fighting their top jungle combo.
Okay.
Right, because early on, who wins? Lucian, Braum, or Aurelia, Elise. Right now, it's getting dicey, right? But in this case, it's Kha'Zix and Volibear. So I would say their combo is not as strong as your bot lane combo, but most of the time, you guys are gonna have some problems, right? If you swap too early. Like one example the other day I saw was like Rengar Malphite, and I was playing something like Varus Lulu, and I was like, they just aim Lulu, we're done, right? We can't do anything. So how do you hit the tower? You can't hit the tower, right? So what do? You do Rift Herald. They stop you from doing Rift Herald. What do? You can't do anything. So I stayed bot, right? Like you're like even trying to hit this tower, but how successful are we in this endeavor?
Not very.
It's looking pretty bad, right? Oh, you guys are actually killing this guy. Wow. So not bad at all actually. But what happened to their team? Where is their Kha'Zix? Oh, he's dead. Oh, okay. So this actually turns out to be not too bad, but it seemed to me that he could, you know,
I didn't expect him to kill the minions that fast.
Yeah, it's not clear to me that you guys knew you could kill him or take the tower without repercussion or anything like that, right? Anything like TP, mid roam, jungle coming, this is close enough for you guys to lose on a roam, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons why you need to consider if you want to swap, right? Generally, swapping is good, right? If there's nothing else to do, because you can get more stuff, right? Here, maybe you want to swap mid, because why is Alawi mid? You want Alawi to be in the side lane, right? Lucian mid is probably better.
Oh yeah, obviously. So.
But I don't know. This is interesting. You guys are gonna win this, right? Because they're chasing. So you can just kill them all. Ulti this guy. Anything works really. Oh, okay. Flash works too. You didn't have ulti, so take tower, sure.
I don't know if is it worth to flash there?
It's worth to flash until when is it? When is it not worth to flash for a kill?
When we don't get anything from it. So that's either an objective or a shutdown. Or...
Okay, this actually is true, but I think it's true in a different sense than you think. Because right now it's worth because you're still trying to make money.
Okay, so wait, yeah, I don't know.
So if you flash for this guy, that's 320 gold, right? So that's good because you're scaling. You're 80 carry. So when you don't want to flash for a kill is, let's say you're finishing off the enemy support after you got Elder Dragon. And it's 50 minutes in the game, right? Then it's like, oh, you need your flash for the next fight, right? This is a difference in the amount of value you can get from your flash. So using your flash to get 300 gold is really good right now, right? We'll say it's very good. But the later the game goes on, the less good it is, right? Then you'll want to say we want to flash to win a team fight, right? Or anything like that. Or maybe flash so we don't get caught, right? Anything like that. Your flash value goes up the later the game goes on, right? Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's a mistake, I'd say. It's very similar to what we're doing top, except now it's more obvious.
Everything. Right. I shouldn't even be here.
So what's the idea behind this? Oh, you're gonna die 1v1. Oh, I thought someone else is coming. Oh my god, dude, your mechanics are actually so much better than everyone else's here. It's kind of disgusting. But wait, how come she didn't kill you?
I don't know.
Okay, how did she kill you here? How do you know that? How do we know that you're dead? You should be dead.
Really? Should I? Because she can wait. Can she Q to a minion and then ulti me?
Yes, she can Q ult a minion, ulti your face, and you die. You have no way. You have no way to stop that. So that's how we know. Is that
I don't even know how Diana works, dude.
Oh, that's kind of awkward, but.
No, but I think because she gets a reset on her ulti, right? If she Qs something.
Yes. That's basically the gist of it, right? So she can reset off the ranged minion and then ulti your face, and then you're really sad. So, but let's go back to this example. I have no idea how you kill this guy, but how do we know that this should not work?
Because the only guy I even see on the map is Volibear, and I'm all alone.
Right. So their number is disadvantage, right?
And I should go back to get my zeal.
Right, and this is also breaking one of these. Going back and getting your zero, I'd say, is not something you should be doing. But
really?
This breaks one of the rules that I always come up with. Yeah.
Okay.
What does the zeal do for you?
Gives me a lot of damage.
Over your dagger, is it worth a base? Is the question.
I mean, it gives me 50% crit, doesn't it?
I mean, you're already getting 10% of that from the Brawler's Grub, right? It's just okay. We're gonna talk about a few things here. All right. So first is the band-aid solution for fixing anything like this is don't hit towers.
Okay.
Okay. The only time you hit towers is when you kill everyone. Like for example, back it up and you kill 2 people, you can hit this tower. Okay. Because people are dead. That's what I want you to think is when people are dead, I can hit the tower. But let's say we back it up to something like this, where we go top, you don't hit the tower. Okay, because hitting the tower is a noob trap, I would say. At any rank, even until you get to like high challenger, I would say hitting the tower is a noob trap, right?
And why is that?
Because if you get engaged on, you're in trouble, right? If they try and stop you from hitting the tower, you're in trouble. You're actually in trouble here, and it was 1v2, right? So you were in trouble mid, and it was 1v1. And not only that, but there's a bunch of people missing, right? And then the other reasons on top of that are more advanced, right? There's like a difference for what you do in your time, right? Like the what's it called? Like there's a cost for opportunity cost is the word, right? What else could you be doing instead of hitting the tower? All right, what else could you be doing?
I don't know. I could be poking him. I could be warding, getting the red if it's up, maybe.
Right, you could be warding, for example. How good is warding for your team? It's extremely good. Let's say you see Kha'Zix at red buff, you just do dragon, right? You can even be doing Rift Herald, right? If you have a pink ward, you can just do the Rift Herald. You can do Scuttle Crab. You can rotate mid. There is so many different things you can be doing that's better than hitting the tower, I think, right? Hitting the tower, the reason why we say hitting the tower works in high challenger is because this other stuff is becoming less valuable than hitting the tower at the higher ranks, right? But that even then it only applies to certain champions like Caitlyn, for example. So something like Lucian, it's really hard for you to hit the tower, right?
So I should only hit the tower if there's nothing better to do and if I know it's 100% safe.
Yeah, when they're dead. We'll say when they're dead, right? Okay. Because when you say nothing better to do, it's better to sit under your tower than it is to hit their tower most of the time, right? Because hitting their tower is just a trap, right? I promise you, like, honestly, I have no idea how you're winning these 1v1s, but this is just this is so close, and even then you should still die, right? He could have backed off, Diana comes in, you're dead, right? So it's just theoretically you shouldn't be winning ever. Right. So there's no real like reason, can't really come up with a good reason to hit the tower, right? You're right in that, everyone's missing and stuff like that, but really you just don't hit the tower unless they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want to do. So what should you do instead? Let's say we're here, we kill this tower, we clear these minions.
We should 100% do dragon.
Okay, why do you say that?
They're blue and then do dragon. Why do I say that?
Yes, why do you say that?
Because it's really valuable.
Well, how do you know you can get the dragon?
Well, we don't know we can get it right now, but by the time we get there, we've warded at their blue, so then when we start Baron, dragon, we can see them. If they're coming. They can just back off or force fight.
So,
wait, top's pushing in. I don't know if that matters.
Right, so, okay, so this is... So let's talk about the dragon theory, or objective idea, where you go to the objective first, you set up, you start the objective, and the premise is you can turn. Right. If they come, right? So, is there any way to beat what you just said? Like, one of the biggest ways is numbers advantage, right? So is there any way they can get numbers advantage on you if you try and do that?
No.
How do you know?
Because two on their team dead and 2 on our team's dead and their jungler's dead. We have smite.
So how do you know that Diana doesn't have TP?
This is true.
So you need to check. This thing is that whenever you come up with a plan,
I also know Swain has TP.
I never saw you press tab though, right? We just no idea. That's the thing.
Is that you do. It's in chat.
Swain has TP. Oh, okay. So Swain has TP. So you know this is 4v4, right? In which case, then you can say something like, maybe we can look at it. Maybe we can look at doing it, right? Because they have no smite. Then you could do that, right?
So what will you do then?
Here, in this case, you could say something like, clear their jungle, or we're gonna head top and clear this, or you can even start Rift Herald, or you can clear wraiths, right? But what's your job as the AD carry in the mid game?
But I have a pink ward, so why not clear their jungle and then pink the dragon?
You can. I'm saying you can do that. It's just that if you go for that option, then you're losing top farm, right? Okay. Whereas if you go for top farm, you're not necessarily losing the dragon option.
Right. Okay.
Right. It's like how much can you get, right? It's like if they start dragon, you can clear top and do Rift Herald fair trade, and you got top. Or let's say you clear top, they run to dragon. Okay, you come from top 2 dragon, your team starts fighting. Still good outcome, right?
Okay.
But this leads into my question of what's your job as the AD carry in the mid game?
In the mid game?
Right, like when the first tower is gone, you could say, what's your job?
Farm, get strong, and help my team get objectives.
Right. Get strong. Right. That's your first priority. Farm. That's your first priority. Right. So anything that's like helping your team is indirectly getting you strong because you know, you're helping them get assists or kills. That's money. Right. Money is your first priority. So if you ever wonder what should I do instead of hitting tower or what should I do at any given situation, the answer is money. Okay, so where's the money? How do you get money here?
From the what's it called? Chickens, red.
Right. I think those are fine options. Just because they're all dead though, right? Because if they were alive, they could stop you or something like that. And then what's the best way? That's not invading their camps because you can't usually do that.
Okay, I would probably go chickens and then top, but that's just probably to go straight top, I guess.
Top is good. Top is very good. You can get chickens here because they're dead, but pushing waves is good, right? So let's say you're playing you know, co-op versus AI, right? How do you get 300 CS at 30 minutes?
You just push the lanes like over to their side of the river and then go to the other lane and farm and get jungle camps.
Right. Why would you say push it past the river?
Because if you push it past the river, their minions are gonna arrive to the fight of the minions before my minions, which in turn makes their minions do more damage to mine, which in turn slow pushes it into me.
Perfect, right? It's coming back to you. So you're gonna get maximum amount of farm if you do that. So in this case, if we're saying, you know, never hit the tower, you say something like, okay, what do? You go top, push it past the river, good to go. Then you can base, you can rift herald, you can do whatever you want. But that's your job in the mid game is find a way to make as much money as possible. Right. And if helping your team, like if a fight breaks out, you check to see if you can help. But most of the time is you're gonna prioritize making as much money as possible so you can carry later game, right? You can carry later in the game. That's your main priority. So I think a lot of this is all fighting though. Just we didn't really get to see too many opportunities of that, but that would be an example of instead of hitting tower, that's what you do instead. Right. Okay, nice find there. Actually really good. So it's really funny because it's like watching the past me is exactly what you are, or how you play. Yeah, is that mechanics are really good, but I think there are some things you're not considering / didn't know about that could get you in trouble. Like this is all disgustingly good. You're just like wiping the floor with them, right? But a lot of times I think in team fights we kind of like die to nocturne ult that we should have known, or we're hitting the tower, we should know it's not a good option, right? So it's really funny because you're exactly the player I used to be. So it's really interesting to see that.
This gives me hope, dude.
Right. Well, I mean, I only ever got better after I kind of came up, you know, I noticed these patterns of like I keep dying to the same thing over and over again. So
did you figure these things out all by yourself?
Yeah. I had no one else to help me. It was just I was one of those like Asian kids who tried to like look up guides and stuff online, but nothing ever really teaches you new, right? You look at all these champion guides, it's like this is useless, right? Nothing really new comes out. I had to watch replays of other players and copy them and then see like why are they doing this, you know, like why are they doing something differently, and then I came up with all these kinds of ideas like lane categories, right? I came up with that in Korea because I always lost lane. Not even joking. 20 games, I lost 20 games of lane, right? Wow. Until I figured this out, and I was like, oh, I see what's going on now, right? It's really like basically you get punished until you find a way to fix it. Right, it's kind of the system I came up with, right? Why are we losing all these team fights? Oh, it's because we keep trying to hit someone without making sure we're safe, right? That's kind of how I figured out how are we dying in the mid game every time. It's because I keep hitting towers, right? that's why.
I do that a lot, hit towers.
Right. Most players do, right? Which is why, you know, most players die to it, right? It's because it's usually not the correct idea. Maybe if you have a siege comp and this is season 3, season 2. It would work, but the game kind of doesn't work that way anymore, right? You get to hit towers when they don't really have a response. You know, they're dead, or your team
Yeah.
comp allows it, or something like that, right? But you know, I think the problem with your gameplay is your mechanics is so good that you're trying to brute force your way through everything, right? And you don't have to rely on anything else, which is why, you know, we see stuff like we have no HP, or kind of trying to like mechanics our way out of situations, right? It's really interesting, but definitely fixable, right? It's the easiest to fix.
Okay.
It's harder to teach mechanics, right? So what should you do instead of sieging tower here? If we say sieging tower is not the best idea,
I should just run top. Or yeah.
right? You can clear their whole top side. If you have a pink, you can put it on Baron. You have a lot of options here, right?
Yeah.
But anything is better than forcing a fight under the tower, right? Like let's say, for example, making them face check Baron is a better fight than fighting under their tower, right?
Yeah.
I would say that's a better option to take, right?
But what do I do then with? Because it's fucking impossible to get people in my yellow to do barons and stuff. Like whenever one person on the other team dies, there's just like, get the inhibitor.
Well, inhibitor is better than Baron, right? If you can get it.
No. I mean, like even if like tier 1 mid is up, they're like.
Oh yeah, that's kind of troll. Then remember what our goal is, right? In solo queue is our goal is you just make yourself as strong as possible. You don't really, if your team literally refuses to do XYZ objective that you think is correct, it doesn't matter. Your job is just get as strong as possible, right?
Okay.
You're happy getting strong, right?
Yeah.
All this other stuff will come after you win fights later,
Okay.
right? So yeah, let's say you know you couldn't siege, couldn't get Baron or whatever. You go farm top. And you push top, you look at Baron, you look at pretty much anything that doesn't involve hitting the tower mid, right? Because now we're gonna die. See, it's like we kind of already know because we've seen this like a million times, right? My gameplay, your gameplay, other people's gameplay, literally challenger replays. It's all the same thing. You see the same pattern is you're hitting the tower, you're gonna die unless you have a specific reason to hit the tower. Like let's say you have Blitzcrank, you're gonna bait them into defending the tower and you're gonna hook someone. That would be a reasonable like answer to hit the tower. Like, it's a reasonable way to hit the tower. Or you have a Lux, right? You're just gonna spam Lux Q on cooldown. You have a Morgana, right? But we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Right, which is why we know it's not gonna work, right?
I think one of my biggest issues, is that I'm looking for these like we talked about earlier, the skirmishes, because I'm like seeing things that Braum could do. And I'm like waiting to follow up on them, but then he never does it, and then I die, and then I blame him for it.
Okay, that's exactly what I used to do too. So this is the idea: is that
instead of just going and farming, it's so stupid.
It's like you're, it's like you start a fight, and then you play it really well, but your support makes a mistake, and you're like, we could have won it if you played better.
Yeah.
Right? So the counter argument is, if they played perfect, you're gonna lose anyways, right?
True.
And then on top of that, you want to create a situation where no matter how bad your team is, you're gonna win anyways.
Yeah.
Like if they face check, like you want to create a situation where if they face check, Lux literally cannot miss a point blank bind. That's what you want, right? That's exactly what you're trying to create. Is that the burden of skill is not on your teammates. That's how you lose, right? There's no reasonable way for your Braum to say, oh, you need to cancel Tristana's jump with your ulti. It's just like, how the fuck are you supposed to do that 9 times out of 10, right?
Dude, do you know how many times I've flamed a Thresh because he couldn't flay Leona out of a...
Right, it's not like the burden of skill should not be on them, right? Unless you know they can do it 9 out of 10 times, you don't go for it, right? So in my games, I don't even do that, right? So it's just like, it's just not reasonable, you know? Maybe in Korea...
It's not even that hard, dude.
Yeah, but it's not hard for you because your mechanics are really good, but... For everyone else, it's like pretty difficult. Look at this. Do you see this is his Q? This is a normal occurrence. Look at this. You see that? It's like all you have to do is hold on to it. Right? That's a normal occurrence. But if you think about it, we do the exact same thing when you're using abilities on waves and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to skirmishes and stuff, you just want to you don't really care what anyone else does. You're just making sure that you play a clean game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just need to make sure you have a clean game yourself before you say something like, "Oh, you missed like an ulti or something," right? That's honestly what I used to be like.
It's so
too.
Childish, dude. I'm like 30 years old and I'm flaming 16-year-olds for not hitting a Q. It's like Jesus Christ.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of like human nature, right? Oh, we're gonna die here. Oh my god! Like, see, I don't understand how you get away with shit like this, but I think you definitely die here if he didn't screw this up.
I flashed off screen, I think. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, the mechanics are really good. We just need to fix the other parts of your gameplay where you put yourself in a spot where mechanics can't save you.
Right.
We're gonna give you better options than what you're doing right now for mid game stuff, right? So the things I want you to work on, okay. Is for laning. I think it's fine. Just don't use your abilities on the wave, unless they're dead and you need to push. That's it. That's the only exception. Okay, they're dead. You can push. The jungler can't kill you. That's when you can use it on the wave. Otherwise, never. Second thing is when it comes to the mid game stuff. You push past the river, like you said, right? You're gonna push it past the mid wave point, and then you don't hit the tower. Right? It can literally be anything else. So you can write this down, but I'm just gonna throw a couple of options at you. You can go ward, right? You can go ward, come back. You can go into scuttle, you can come back. You can go camp any of the close bushes next to their tower, right? If you're an all-in comp, you can camp a bush, right? All-in catch, you can camp a bush. Anything like basing, if you have an item. Sometimes you don't want to do basing though. Even standing under your tower is better. I would say camp rather than hit the tower, okay? And then when it comes to team fighting, number one is making sure that you're counting the ways they kill you, okay? So this is actually what I think you should work on is in team fighting, you don't really have any problems doing damage. Or the idea of doing damage is not a problem for you. The problem is that we're gonna die to something. So when you do team fights, you need to ask yourself, what's gonna catch me, for example. Right. So you count the top 3 things that are gonna kill you in a team fight. So it could be Morgana bind, it could be Malphite ult, it doesn't matter. Think of the top 3 things on the enemy team, and then only watch that for the fight. Okay, you don't even try and hit anything unless you've accounted for all 3 of those things.
Wait,
and then you can hit something.
The 3 what?
The top 3 things that are gonna kill you in a team fight. Okay, so let's take this game for example. Let me see if you hit tab here anywhere. I think you hit tab here somewhere. Come on. Oh, okay. So it's Volibear, Kha'Zix, who's their melee? Diana. Right. Let's just say they're all alive. Okay. So
top 3 threats. Okay.
What's the number 1 cause of death in this team fight, theoretically speaking?
Kha'Zix, 1 shot.
Okay, we can say Kha'Zix, 1 shot. So you're gonna watch Kha'Zix. You're not gonna fight unless you see him. Okay, that's number 1. What's number 2?
Diana.
Okay, we can say Diana, like Diana flank. So the second thing is you're still not gonna fight unless you see Diana and Kha'Zix. Okay, and then what's the third thing?
Wait, who's left?
Yeah, Volibear, Tristana, Lulu.
I don't know. There's not many other threats like immediate, like that can just jump on me.
I'd say Volibear is gonna flash flip you. Okay,
right.
That would be probably up on my list.
Flash flip me, should I?
Right. But look what's going on here, right?
Okay.
right. So he didn't even flash, and you got flipped. So that's how we know, right? How did I know it was gonna happen? I've gotten caught by it. Okay, so
point taken, dude.
Top 3 things. Okay, that's what I want you to look at, and then once you can make sure you can't die to that. Literally cannot. It's no possible way. Then you can hit the closest guy. Right, that's what we mean by having those 2 priorities is, number 1, you actually cannot get caught for whatever reason, right? You're going to flash Diana Q, or you're going to, you have a death stance and a Lulu for a Kha'Zix, right? There's no possible way for you to die. You're out of flash Volibear range, right? Or you saw him use flash, right? Then you can hit the closest guy, but not before then, right? And I think those 2 things, the last 2 things we talked about, the don't hit the tower, do something else, and make money in the mid game, and team fighting, not getting caught by this thing that's going for you. I think those are the most helpful for you because, sure, laning, we're like, nitpicking and stuff, but you come out of lane pretty well, pretty good, right? Laning seems to be fine, and for now at least, right?
Right.
It's just these 2 things, you've actually I think you survived with 50 HP, every game, or you died, right? Because we weren't aware of it. Like it was Nocturne in that Xayah game, or it's gonna be Kha'Zix or Volibear in this game, right? If you fix these 2 things, I think you'll see basically you can't die with your mechanics. Right? It'll seem like you can't die. So that's what I want you to work on. And then the third thing is just mute chat. if you type back, that's when you know you have to mute. So.
Okay. Yeah, I do that. I actually tilt myself from chatting.
Right, right. If you ever find yourself pressing enter, that's when you know you gotta mute. Okay, that's what I do. Is whenever I feel like I need to respond, I mute them because they're just a waste of your time. So,
Okay.
what do you think? Do you have any questions? You wanna? Do you agree? Do you wanna go over anything we didn't talk about?
I haven't actually actively been thinking about any questions I have, so probably next lesson I will, but for now, no.
Okay, good. Oh, actually, point and case, right? With this one too, we got hit by all three things, or all three things are coming at us, right? So, it's like you know what's gonna come for you. It's just now we have to actively be aware of it, and you're good to go for these fights, right?
Yeah.
The mechanics are really good. I'm really impressed with your mechanics at this rank. We just need to make sure that we're not kind of committing suicide in fights or something like that, right?
Okay.
And then we're good to go.
All right. Seems good.
All right, seems good. See, look, okay, let's take a look at this. Everything you just did here was very good, right? You pushed this out, right, and you did something else that isn't hit their tower, right? So how come you didn't run for their inhib tower here?
It's potential suicide.
Yeah, exactly. it's never gonna work, right? It's the same thing with these outer towers, except it's not as obvious. Okay, it's gonna be the same thing. It's just suicide to go for the towers. So, all this is good. See, scuttle crab, plants, whatever. Push mid again. All that is good, right? And then you can do Baron, right? I promise you, that's all you need to do. Don't hit the tower. You hit the tower when they all die. Okay, you hit the tower when they all die. I promise you. They will literally come out and kill themselves. Okay, look at this Diana. Look at this. She came out of the lane and killed herself. That's all you need to do. Okay, you just wait for that, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Same with this Kazakhs. How did this happen? Look at this. What is this? So yeah, now you can hit the tower. They all died, right? Easy. This is what you want. You just PvE. It's World of Warcraft. You can hit this for free. There's no, they literally can't stop you, right? That's what you're going for. So, yeah, same thing here. Don't hit the tower. Hit this tower where they can't stop you, right? And then game's over at this point. Yeah. Oh, you see this? I don't know how. I actually have no idea how you're living, but that should be one shot, right? I think that's like your big problem in fights, is that you're not really respecting the ways that can kill you. So definitely take a look at that. That's number one, I would say, is in a fight, look for the three highest threats, and then make sure that you cannot die to that. That's what you should work on. So
okay. Yeah.
Sounds
the
good.
Braum was really good this game, I think. Sort of like. Yeah.
All right, he was doing his job, I guess, right? In the laning phase, at least.
He was doing a lot of weird shit, but he was doing a lot of clutch plays as well, like there.
Right. Like I have no idea how you like what is this Locket and the redemption? Like, dude, I have no idea how you didn't die here. Is this a guardian too? Yeah. So spicy. But for your next 5-10 games, right? If you wanted this to be a weekly thing, you have to show me 5 games where you don't die in a team fight. That's what we want to see.
Shit.
Right? 5 to 10 games in a row. That's how you know that you've improved. Right? That's how you know you've improved. Is you see 5 to 10 in a row and it's perfect. Excellent.
Where I don't die in team fights ever?
Yeah, where you show that you've identified the 3 things that are gonna kill you and you don't die no matter what. Right? That's how it works. Possible? Right? Even in losing fights, you can not die. Right? Okay. Especially when you play like Xayah, right?
Do I not run the risk of not doing enough damage that I should?
I mean, I think we're at the point where you run the risk of just dying for free, right? Like with this, like remember that fight where you're like 8 kills and 1 death, and then you died to like Quirky Package and Nocturnal, and then you didn't contribute, right? It's like that's what we're trying to prevent right now, right? Like I promise you, in these games, it's probably because like Xayah or Bind or Lucian Kick, Mushroom, Ulti Charm, right? Anything like that, that's gonna kill you, right? I already know. Like looking at the team comp, right? Anything like this, you probably got Vi ulted a million times, right? Or Zoe bubbled, right? So that's what you need to watch out for. Is no matter what, you don't die to that stuff. Right? This game is probably just LeBlanc doing LeBlanc things. WQR, right? So that's what you need to look out for, right? And then once you cannot die to that at all, 5 games in a row, then you can work on something else, okay? Then you say, work on the mid game, never hit the tower. Do something else that's not hitting the tower. and then I think we'll see like massive improvement. Like you have the mechanics of like a diamond player already. Okay.
Really?
That's what we're working on right now. Is like,
dude, I've been gold for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think you just don't know what to do. If that makes any sense. No offense, but
No, none taken, dude.
That's like where we're at. Is the what should I do at any given situation is what you need to work on, right?
Okay.
That's like what's separating you from the other higher ranked players right now. So definitely do that. The team fight thing first, okay?
Right.
10 games.
Don't die in team fights.
Yeah, we'll say 10 games in a row.
Watch me fucking message you tomorrow with 10 games in a row where I don't die.
Dude, I would love to see that. Well, I would love to see that. Yeah, show me how it goes. Let me know how things go, and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sound very good, dude.
All right. Good luck in your
It's been an
games.
awesome lesson, dude. I've learned so much. Thank you.
I'm glad. I'm glad it was useful, because if it wasn't useful, that's kind of awkward, you know.
That was true, but I didn't expect it to be this useful. Like so many eye openers, so many things that I thought were like so hard that are actually seem pretty simple now that you explain them.
Right. As long as you're watching out for it, right? You're expecting it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad, right? League is like it's all mental, right? You see the things that people do on stream, you're like, hey, I could do that, right? You can do that. It's just a matter of making sure we know what we're doing, and then we can do that, right?
Right.
So yeah, let me know how things go. You have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord, or you have any like 30-second clips, feel free to show me on Discord. But if that's all, then I'm gonna play some games. Good luck to you.
I'll watch you play some games if you're gonna stream.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely, I'm curious to see how you do, because I think you have the best mechanics I've seen in a while for my students. So
Holy shit.
it'll be really interesting to see where we can go.
Someone clip that for me? Alright, dude. Thanks a lot.
All right.
I'll see you around.
Yep. See ya.
See you, dude.